Advanced transcription number 28, speed 100 words per minute. Start. Sir, I rise to support the demands of the Ministry of Health and Family Planning. The overall impression one gathers by reading this report is that in the 54 pages devoted to the Department of Health, a sketchy picture has been presented of the multifarious activities carried on by the Ministry of Health. To my mind, chronic shortage haunts every hospital in every district and every state of the Union. There is shortage of doctors, shortage of medicines, shortage of hospitals, primary health centers, dispensaries, etc. What is worse is that these things, especially medicines, are not available in a pure form. Yesterday, in reply to a question in Rajya Sabha, the Minister of State for Health conceded that the supply of acromycin in Irvine Hospital was not of the required standard and that nothing could be done because the law stood in the way. This brings to my mind the most important function that the ministry should pay heed to, that is, the legislative aspect concerning medicines and food adulteration. We are aware that the Prevention of Food Adulteration Act, as passed in 1954, has failed to deliver the goods primarily because its functioning has been put into wrong hands. The minister told Rajya Sabha yesterday that no action could be taken against the suppliers or manufacturers of these medicines or those who used it in Irvine Hospital simply because the Delhi administration did not have the requisite powers, except in Maharashtra, where the implementation of the Prevention of Food Adulteration Act is in the hands of the state government. In all other states, it has been handed over to the local bodies, municipal bodies, etc. The implementation has been given to sanitary inspectors who are devoting attention to this aspect only on a part-time basis. According to a newspaper report published in Hindustan Times, every fourth pocket of food sample is adulterated. If this is the condition of the nation's health and the nation is subjected to adulterated foodstuffs, neither the Minister for Health nor you nor I can be sure whether we will have a good health in the days to come. Similarly, a scheme presented by the ministry and put before the Planning Commission for proper enforcement of the Act was turned down by the Planning Commission. In such a situation, the steps the ministry proposes to take should be rigorous. They should first of all think of the legislative aspect. I demand categorically that the implementation of this act should be taken over from the local bodies and put into the hands of the state governments. The center should also see to it that there is some kind of supervision so that foodstuff, medicines, etc. are not adulterated. This is very necessary because the report published in Hindustan Times dated 20th April shows that the incidence of adulteration is on the increase and the implementation of the Prevention of Food Adulteration Act has bogged down between three levels of executive authorities, local bodies, state governments, and central government. So, a clear-cut way should be found out, and the nation should be saved from this malaise of adulteration. When I discussed this problem with certain food inspectors and retail dealers, they told that they were not in a position to do anything because a certain kind of certificate had to be produced to the effect that it was a pure foodstuff and nothing was adulterated. The wholesalers were expected to give such a certificate to the retail dealers. But unfortunately, no wholesaler gives a certificate to the retailer, and the retailer has only a choice of either refusing to accept such goods or willy-nilly take the adulterated food and sell it in the market. I feel that this certificate should be from the manufacturer and not from the wholesaler. It should be made obligatory on the part of the manufacturer to issue such certificates, and there should be a rule to the effect that nothing could be sold by the retailers unless there is a certificate to the effect that it is not adulterated. Legislative measure is also important in this connection. Legislative bulletins are issued on the subject in several countries. Yesterday, I was looking into one magazine published by the UN which says that in Canada and other countries a label is fixed giving this guarantee that the stuff is unadulterated, and severe punishment is given to those persons who are responsible for breaking this law. I want to bring this to the notice of the minister. The second important problem is the supply of drinking water. That also comes within the purview of this ministry. We are told in the ministry's report that 90,000 villages are in such a hopeless condition that they do not have sources of drinking water within 1 mile of their residence. Under the schemes that have been drawn up, there are many divisions created in his country, many subdivisions, and the entire country would be ensured of good water supply within a fixed period of 24 months. The minister in his speech has not been able to assess the extent of demand of the country for additional transport capacity, and he has not been able to give us a picture of how this challenge will be met and met adequately to remove transport difficulties in the country. I would mention some facts and leave it to the judgment of honorable members as to whether some of the steps that the railway ministry has taken during this period of 5 years have been able to solve the transport difficulties. In spite of the two plans and the additional capacity released as a result of development, the problem of congestion, which has also been referred to by other honorable members, is proving a great deterrent. It has proved a great deterrent in the past. It is proving a great deterrent at present, and perhaps it will prove a greater deterrent hereafter. This problem of congestion has been growing.